we provide newsrooms, multimedia newsrooms or online newsrooms, whatever you would like to call it. And that is a repository, a place, a platform for brands, for companies to be able to share all the kind of content that they are producing. And this is service for comms people that want to communicate to a wider audience, not only journalists, not only media, but also want to provide a setting for their content to get out in different other channels. That could be social channels, social media channels. It could also be to be SEO'd, to have a big impact on Google. But it could also be to distribute the stuff to other influencers, journalists, but also bloggers or people influenced in Twitter, etc., etc. I would say that brands have to think more like media. They have a lot of lessons to learn from media in that perspective. That means that they could react, instead of just using the campaign as the tool, also react on day-to-day stuff that is happening, but also filling in with multimedia, with imagery, video, etc., etc. So, and that is a struggle for companies today to do that, because they are organized in another way. And when you look at sort of the media landscape in itself, that includes all the digital channels out there, all the social media channels, and all the various target groups that you as a communicator have to respond to. So a good example of how a brand thinks like a newsroom would be Oreo. That's the current example we have right now, how they, during the blackout of the Super Bowl, responded very agile. They had a team waiting more or less for something to happen, and they could respond to it. And that's a good example of how brands could act much more in real time with their content. The great brands do this already. They think like newsrooms. Oreo was one example, right? And I believe that brands could hire journalists or videographers or media-savvy people to get organized and work as a team to provide the newsroom. And you also need the functionality and the tools, the techniques that media are using today in order to get that content. And to be valuable with that content, you need to fill in the multimedia aspect as well. You have to have the video stuff, good imagery, and also good copywriting. Because it's not about sort of doing that specific campaign at that time. It's more about planning for a longer perspective in getting your... Not to get anything wrong here, is that a media and a brand is two completely different things. The brand can just think like the media. They can't be the media. I mean, the extreme would be Red Bull, that obviously is very close to being a media. But I believe that most brands, like 95% of most brands, would benefit a lot if they could create that feeling of the newsroom, of professional newsrooms, and the techniques that media are using today.